Ambassador David Friedman, former U.S. Ambassador to Israel. Sir, thank you for your time and good morning. I want to bring you the two headlines, I think, for the moment. Benjamin Netanyahu saying no ceasefire until the hostages are released. Nasrallah speaking in Lebanon on behalf of Hezbollah. Seems as if the Northern Front that everybody's been watching for the past several weeks will serve as more of a distraction for Israel than anything else. I read that today in real time as a good sign. How do you see the state of the war right now, Mr. Ambassador?
Look, I think it's a good sign, but I really don't trust Nasrallah at all. And remember, they're shooting at Israel every day from the north. Israel's shooting back. It's incredibly volatile, and one misfire, and the whole thing blows up. So, I mean, if Nasrallah really wants to stay out of the war, it's very simple. Stop shooting at Israel, and Israel won't be firing back. And again, we've all seen wars spin out of control. So that continues to be, I think, a huge worrying point. If I can, guys, I think the secretary's comments were helpful and important in terms of supporting Israel's effort to eradicate Hamas. But I have to tell you, this idea that this narrative, which I think continues to be advanced in the United States, that left to their own devices, Israel would commit civilian atrocities and America is holding them back. It's just absolutely not true. It plays to a political base of the Biden administration in the United States, that somehow the United States is holding Israel back. But Israel is not targeting civilians. I've been in their war rooms. In 2019, there was kinetic activity with Hamas. I know what they do. Every time they attack, in that attack, there is a calibration of what collateral damage will occur. And they take that into consideration on every attack. On top of that, there are pauses constantly. They're not shooting every minute. I mean, you just saw, with Trey Yingst. I mean, there are shots fired, and then there are not. Then it's quiet. There are pauses constantly. There are people getting out of Gaza. The South is generally quiet. People are leaving. Medical supplies are getting in. Israel's doing that all by itself. And this idea that, Israel has to be held back from their worst instincts is feeding a narrative in the United States that, as we're all seeing, is leading to, I think, a very stark increase in anti-Semitism. I wish we would get away from that because it's not accurate and it's political.
David, there's also, periodically, they will bring up a two-state solution, which seems impossible to talk about right now, but from your perspective or the Israeli perspective, and then when they're in the middle of trying to respond to October 7th, that conversation seems difficult to have right now.
Yeah, it's really tone deaf, I think. The idea that all these bad actors, and it's not just Hamas, all these bad actors are somehow going to be rewarded with an independent state based upon their conduct over the last 4 weeks. It's absurd, and it's adding a real insult to the massive injury that's been inflicted on Israel. Look, the Palestinian Authority, which is the alternative governing body in Judea and Samaria, is an entity that pays terrorists to kill Jews. It's an entity that has voiced its support for Hamas. There's not a single Arab leader that borders Israel, whether Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, or Syria, not a single Arab leader that has not, to a large extent, sided with Hamas. So who's going to govern this two-state solution? Where are these peace-loving leaders coming from? So, yeah, look, maybe one day. I'm personally against it. I think it will never come to be, and it shouldn't come to be. But for those who want to pursue that path, now is certainly not the right time.
Sir, thank you for your time. David Friedman, the former ambassador, thanks for being here.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.